we've already finished our 30 kilometres back to Bairnsdale, and we took the train for a much shorter ride than going all the way home to Stratford to start the next rail trail, which is the Gippsland Plains Rail Trail. And it looks really nice so far, and it's much easier terrain than the rail trail that we've been doing so far. Let's go! We just rolled into our campsite for tonight, which is the Hayfield RV rest stop, and it's actually really nice, even though it's free. There's no like camp kitchen, obviously, but there's toilets and there's a shower, which you can pay $1 for, and there's space. There's also this lovely picnic table. We went to the grocery store to pick up some food, so I'm having some cheese. And I picked up some vegetables because I haven't really had vegetables in a while. I had a egg salad sandwich earlier today. But yeah, that was the first time I had vegetables apart from some lentils in a few days. And tonight for dinner I'm having this pumpkin soup, and probably with a bit of the bread I have left from earlier. I am feeling quite tired, but I don't think it's from the ride. I think it's just like a mental tiredness from having a cold. I really hope I feel better tomorrow because I'd like to do Grand Ridge Road. If I feel the same, then I reckon I'll cycle up to the first campsite, and then we've got rest day, and if I don't feel better after the rest day, then I probably won't do the rest. First part that we're doing up to the Koornalla campsites seems manageable. It's a quite gradual ascent until it becomes a bit sharper at the very end. And the second day seems hard but doable, and the last day of Grand Ridge Road looks very difficult. If I have any bit of a cold for that, that's probably not gonna end very well. Hopefully everything will be okay. I'm getting my results of the test tomorrow and wearing my mask around when I'm not eating. So I am hopeful. The 30 kilometres we did of the Gippsland Plains Rail Trail today was very easy in comparison to the East Gippsland Rail Trail. And yeah, so the first half of tomorrow will definitely be quite easy ride as well. So that was quite nice because although the rail trail we were doing before was completely flat, it was harder than I expected it to be. And that was just because of the terrain, just going through gravel, and it wasn't as fine and packed as it is on this trail. We were going like 12 kilometers per hour, which was much slower than I expected. But we were going about 18 kilometers per hour for the last half of today. So I was a bit worried that maybe I'd overestimated my abilities for bike riding, but it seems that things are going to be okay, because from what I understand, Grand Ridge Road is mostly paved, but there may be some bits that are unpaved. But I've also heard from some people that it's completely paved, so I'm not sure. But hopefully it's mostly paved, so then at least the actual ground will be much easier, even if there's a bit of a slope. It is day 4. At 6:30 a.m. I got a text saying that my COVID test result was negative. Thank goodness, although I expected that anyway. And also, I feel better today. Definitely not completely healed, but I'm feeling well enough to tackle the harder part of this trip. We just had a bit of an adventure for the past 1 kilometre, just getting out of Hayfield, trying to figure out where the rail trail is in the first place. And it didn't seem very well maintained when we actually found the first bit of the rail trail. So there were a lot of bumps, and I think Amanda's stuff probably fell off her bike, which is why I seem to be waiting for her instead of her waiting for me now. Finally, we got a sign just there that said rail trail this way, because there weren't any signs like that at Hayfield. I think we're on our way to the mountains, to Bradbridge Road. We stopped a little earlier in Toongabbie to have a bit of a snack, which we've been doing after like the first 20 k's of each day. And we saw that Glengarry was 9 kilometers away. And it feels like we've barely been riding and we're already in Glengarry. And we're like, what? We did 9 k's? When did that happen? We also found out that actually it's 40 kilometers today to Traralgon, not 30. So we're gonna have a bit of a longer ride today than I originally thought. But it's definitely seemed fairly easy so far. There's also a really cute looking cafe here, which is in the old rail station building. And I'm kind of like, oh, I'd like to go in just because it looks so nice. But I'm pretty full, like we just had a snack and I'm not thirsty or anything. We'll probably skip this one, but maybe some other time. We just went over a couple of bridges like that and they were too long for how bumpy they were. Definitely don't feel that great after them. Count Strzelecki passed near this point. That's so vague. Oh, the sculpture was made by a Polish person as well. A Gantowiak. Is that an N? No, that's an, hold on. Santowiak. Santowiak. I like it when my people are remembered. We have made it up the first 30 kilometers of the Strzelecki ranges, and we camped at the last campsite out of the 5 along Traralgon Creek Road, which is called Hoggs Bridge, and it is very nice actually. We stopped at a few different clearings. The first one was actually marked as a campsite and there were a lot of very loud people there, so we were instantly like, let's maybe move on and look at some of the other campsites. Each clearing just had other people in it, some of which were drinking, playing music, or some of which just had small kids that were running around. So we thought we would just keep going until we found a nice spot. And this is a very nice spot, and it's the closest spot to Traralgon Park as well. So we might go there tomorrow, depending on how we feel, I guess, because maybe we just want an even more chill day or something. There's definitely a very nice view here. And this is also probably my first true bush camp, because there's no like shelter or official filtered water or toilet or anything. There's a creek which we need to purify water out of. At the Hayfield stop last night, I actually started reading one of the books they had at the book exchange, and I didn't bring it with me, obviously, because I didn't need the extra weight, but I kind of started getting into the story and I'm like, damn, I want to read the rest of that book, but I guess I never will. I read about 50 pages of it. And actually riding up Traralgon Creek Road was easier than I expected it to be. I think I was expecting it to be very hard because I have weight on my bike. We also had a nice surprise that at first we were on a highway out of Traralgon for a few kilometers, but then we saw that there was actually a bike path that was right next to the road for the part where there was no shoulder anymore on the road before we got to Traralgon Creek Road, which is much smaller. And actually there were a lot of very bumpy and rocky bits and so many potholes for the last few Ks before this campsite that I think were deterring many cars from coming here. So we haven't really had much traffic, so it's been a really nice road to ride on as well. And I'm definitely used to rocky and bumpy roads now after the Eastern Gippsland Rail Trail.